Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mohsin Ahmed. I am a United States citizen born and raised in New York. I've lived my whole life in New York. I studied in the borough of Bronx. I have a bachelor's and master's in mechanical engineering, and I was raised Muslim my entire life. So my entire family and extended family have been disciples of a sheikh of Tarbiya, a scholarly sheikh, for our whole lives. We have visited him in England. He is from India, and our entire lives have been surrounded by Sufism, by respect for the walis, and the Sufi component of Islam. 4 or 5 years ago, my younger brother met and took bay'ah at the hands of Sidi Shaykh Muhammad Fawzi al-Karkari, may Allah sanctify his secret, and 2 years after, I met Sidi Shaykh at the University of Chicago the first time he visited America. It was a genuine, transcendent experience. In him, I saw all the signs that I had only ever read about, that I had never expected to find in this day and age. And almost immediately, what I had only heard about from my brother and what I had only read about in books of Sufism, once I saw those characteristics manifested in him, I immediately resolved to take bay'ah at his hands. And after his trip to Chicago, he flew to California, where me and my brother went with him, and it was in California that I took bay'ah on a Friday. A bay'ah is simply we hold hands and I swear an oath, and I put my life and my soul in his hands, and I trust him to guide me on the right path to Allah. So there are 7 major components of the Karkariya order. The most important and the component that you take an oath to commit to every day for the rest of your life is the litany. It is a single page of prayers and salutation, where you read it once in the morning after the Fajr prayer, and then once in the evening after the sunset prayer, the Maghrib prayer. This is the primary promise that you are making to your sheikh, that you will hold to this litany. But the oath must be kept, and the exchange is that you receive progress with enough commitment and enough dedication. You receive progress on the path, on the Sufi path. So the light is a component of divine witnessing. It is not a metaphor. It is not an illusion that someone is tricking you with. It is the light. God says in the Quran, "I am the light of the heavens and the earth," and it is this light, and it is this light that you are witnessing once you take the bay'ah and the sheikh puts this light into your heart. So there are roughly 2.5 million disciples, and each one of them has their own experience with the light before taking the oath and during the oath itself, and after, as they keep the litany they have sworn to maintain. My personal experience with the light has been similar to other disciples. Disciples have seen some examples that I've heard of disciples seeing the light even before they took the oath was while they were praying, and it was genuine, heartfelt prayer. There were tears pouring from them, and they were seeking forgiveness from the Lord. They witnessed a light. Sometimes the light has color, and this color represents one of the 99 names of Allah. I know individuals, and myself included, who have seen a moon, and sometimes the moon has clouds moving across it, and this moon is a luminous moon. It is a manifestation of the light. The Zawiya, excuse me. So the Zawiya is the center of the Karkariya order in Arawi, Morocco. I came to the Zawiya after visiting the Zawiya, and the Shaykh and the family who live here and the other disciples is a core component of the Karkariya order. You know, by visiting the Zawiya, you are letting go of all the material obligations in the real world, all the worldly obligations, and you are shedding these obligations and putting them on hold and sacrificing them temporarily as out of respect for the order, out of respect for Sufism, and it is a commitment to the order and to the light itself, to the path itself, that you leave your world and submit to the life of the Zawiya. So here, people come with their problems. People come with as out of respect to the Shaykh, and people come to strengthen their observation of the light, because here there are very few distractions, right? You eat, you sleep, you pray, you do zikr, so much prayer and so much zikr. The daily life of a disciple at the Zawiya is primarily zikr and prayer, and it is an opportunity. It is not a punishment. It is an opportunity to truly commit yourself in the same exact way as your master, the Sidi Shaykh Muhammad Fawzi al-Karkari, and his and those awliya who came before him. At the Zawiya, the schedule is very strict. It is very demanding, but the rewards are tenfold. People have received openings and unveilings, which is one of the main goals of the path, right? You are on this path, you are on this journey for a reason, right? God is veiled by 70 veils, and part of this the path, part of Sufism in general, not just unique to this path, is that your Shaykh, who has all the unveilings, who has all the secrets, 70 unveilings, 70 secrets, your Shaykh has all of them, and once you commit yourself, once you change your heart to be able to handle these unveilings and handle these secrets, the Shaykh, he takes your hand and he progresses you on this path. And part of that progress is an increase in these openings and unveilings and an increase in secrets. The Moroccan people are very established in their culture. They are an ancient people. They are very, very much themselves, right? And they have been this way for hundreds, if not thousands of years. They could lose all the technology, all the modern day technology. They could lose everything, all the innovation that we have of the 21st century, and they would be completely fine. They are an incredibly strong and capable people as a country. They are very loyal to to their elders and Zawiyas in general, and Shaykhs and Walis are very, very established as part of the culture and the lifestyle here in Morocco. So it's not, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of shrines of prior wali, prior sheikhs, and visiting them is an incredible blessing and an opportunity. One of the second components of the Karkari order specifically is the siyaha, the wandering. Our Shaykh himself, for 10 years during the beginning of his ascension, for 10 years straight he wandered. He left his home with nothing but slippers and this murakka, it's called, and very, very little, right? And he wandered straight for 10 years seeking his Lord, and he spent those 10 years speaking to his Lord and becoming one with his Lord in a way that there's no alternative to a siyaha, to a wandering. It is an established practice in both Quran and Hadith, and even if you are not religious, you will find that traveling with nothing but the bare essentials is an uplifting and transcendent experience. His travels took him to many, many shrines of many, many walis, and as part of the Karkari order, as part of the lifestyle of a disciple, one of our core practices is to emulate our Shaykh and follow in his footsteps and in our own siyaha. So the siyaha at the wandering at the Karkari order in here in Morocco happens twice a year. There is a winter siyaha and a summer siyaha, and each siyaha starts and stops at the same exact place where our Shaykh started and stopped. And over time, as we complete every winter and every summer siyaha, we will be following in his footsteps that he completed over the course of those 10 years. So this summer of 2025, I went on my very first siyaha. It was roughly 160 kilometers, and we had two stops. We had two stops, and each of them was the shrine of a saint that our own Shaykh had stopped at during his own siyaha. It was easily one of the most challenging, uplifting, transcendent, genuinely spiritual experiences of my life. It's hard to put into words the nature of your relationship with God when you are committed to this wandering. There are many, many disciples who went, and they can all give you their own personal experiences of how they were blessed during their trip, during their wandering in their own ways. I personally witnessed, both in myself and in other disciples, the blessing of God increase during our wandering. All of our needs were met. If we were hungry, if we were thirsty, which was common because it was like 110, 115 degrees on average during the day, and we were walking for many, many tens of miles each day. Many times I witnessed disciples receiving different blessings in the form of fresh, clean, cool water, food, rest stops, shade, their prayers being answered, both in myself and in other disciples. And this is part of the blessing that you receive as part of your commitment to the wandering and committing to that challenge. But it's not just about what you receive. It's about and more importantly, it's about your relationship with God. It is about speaking to your Lord. During the wandering, you're not just praying for forgiveness as every Muslim does. You're not praying, you are, but it's not the main feature. You're not just wandering heedlessly. You are not wandering without a goal. Your goal is God. And you are letting go of all the material wealth, all the material worldly, not just possessions, but easements of daily life. There's no air conditioning. You don't have access to a car. It's just you, maybe a sleeping bag, a change of clothes, and a walking stick, similar to our Shaykh, who had less actually. And when I say that the experience was transcendent, there is something very, very special about speaking to your Lord and receiving a response, and not a response in the form of food or water, right? That is a blessing. A response in the form of an increase in light, right? An increase in nearness to God, an increase in your progress on this path. It is pure light. It is pure freedom. This is one of the most freeing practices of the Karkariya order. On a more personal note, the most important thing in the world to me personally is freedom. And I've never found a source of freedom in this world that is not a delusion, that is not just another trap, right? Money is not freedom. Political power is not freedom. Even physical strength is not freedom. Worldly possessions are not freedom. The only real source of freedom is God. When God loves someone, he sets them free, right? And the Shaykh is one of the most powerful, profound sources of God that I've ever come across. There's no equal. He is the equal of Rumi. He is the equal of Ibn Arabi. He is the equal, if not greater, than the equal of and greater than Ghosbak and so many other sheikhs who have come in the past. And it is such an unreal, unexpected, shocking event to have someone like him in our lifetime, to have someone like him be accessible. I mean, it's an unreal experience, and it is the biggest blessing of our lifetime. Before I met the Shaykh, I struggled to find I've struggled to find a relationship with God. I found success, of course, through the prayers and the Quran and my not just my former Shaykh, the Shaykh of teaching, a learned scholar, not just him, but through the remembrance of the previous awliya and the previous sheikhs who have come before us. I did find some success with their practicing what they taught and reading their literature and accessing the zikr and the blessing that they have to offer. But there is no substitute to a real living sheikh. And my first experience was not with myself. It was what I experienced and the signs that I saw manifested in my brother and the other disciples who I saw, the very first disciples that I met. Meeting them was, it was not just meeting the other disciples, but seeing the changes that were wrought in my brother after he took the oath and after he built a relationship with the Shaykh. It was it was very shocking, right? He became a totally new person, and from that moment, I thought to myself, after seeing the changes in him and meeting the other disciples, that only a true Shaykh could do something like this. Only someone who was real, right? Not just, he wasn't just an imam. He wasn't just, like what the equivalent would be like a priest or something like that. He wasn't just another one of those. He was a real life Shaykh who was the wali, the spiritual master, the guide, the reviver of our time. After I saw these changes manifest and I saw the very nature of the other disciples, I resolved to meet this Shaykh when he visited the United States in Chicago. His very first trip to the United States. Right outside, as soon as he was picked up from the airport, I was the second person to meet him at his hotel room, and I still remember the feeling. My heart was beating unnaturally fast, and as soon as I saw him, he was genuinely one of the most beautiful people that I've ever seen. He was everything that you would envision the great sheikhs of the past to be, and he is more, right? Even now that I've sat with him and spoken to him so many times, I still feel so grateful and so overwhelmed by his beauty and the strength of his love and his passion and the luminous being that he is. He is truly, truly a luminous being. And meeting him was what I've been waiting for unconsciously my entire life. It is what I've been looking for, right? Unconsciously and hopelessly, right? Before I met him, there was no chance in my mind of ever experiencing a living Shaykh, right? I'd only ever read about them. I'd only ever experienced their blessings by invoking their name during hardship. But now I have this great Shaykh, this great saint sitting in front of me, right? And I sit across from him and I learn from him every day. And the changes have been, in me personally, it has been fulfilling. It has cleared away the confusion. It has cleared away the lies and the delusions that I had built up about what it meant to be free and what was freedom. He has given me freedom. He has taken my hand and he has given me a source of freedom that is more profound than anything else that you can think of. Through him, I've become stronger and more capable religiously. You become more patient. You lose your ego. That is the primary. You'll hear him say this, and you'll hear his disciples repeat it. Lower yourself and exalt others. And it was from him that I first heard this, and it was through him that I attempt to practice this on a daily basis, and me and all the other disciples. Excuse me. So meeting him has been life-changing, and I hope that this is just the beginning of my journey, right? I have no secrets yet. I have a lot of work to do before I continue to progress. But I see true disciples, and when I say true disciples, I mean disciples who have truly committed themselves, and I see them progressing on this path. I see them. I see the changes in them, and it is more motivation and more inspiration that it is more validation that it's not just made up. It's not just in our heads. It is real, and the changes are real. They are to your benefit, to my benefit, and they are unmatched by anything that the world has to offer. I was born, like I said before, in the United States. There are preconceptions that Muslims in the United States are not as devoted, they are not as dedicated to their faith as Muslims born and raised in the Middle East, surrounded by Islam. What I would tell you is that you need to find freedom. Freedom is the most important goal of any individual. And this preconception, this misguided, I am living proof that this preconception is nonsense, right? I pray 5 times a day. I do zikr. I abstain from the basic prohibitions in Islam, drugs, alcohol, etc. My earning is halal. My lifestyle is halal, and I urge all Muslims to consider that Islam is more than just a bunch of rules upon rules that get tighter and tighter like a noose, a trap, an endless trap. Free yourself from this box. Islam is not. It is not a source of constriction. It is not a prison. It is a source of freedom. And if you are not finding that freedom in your daily life, from the many misguided scholars and sources of information that you have on Islam, then you need to find a source of freedom that will actually give you freedom. And to me, that is my Shaykh, Shaykh Muhammad Fawzi al-Karkari. And I urge you to find that freedom.